Hari Om, Namaskar to all of you. To one of my posts in Facebook a couple of days back, where tears, it's harder to keep it to oneself and still smile in a very emotional situation. There is one interesting comment we have received from Ananda Tirtha Kulkarni. He has written, Gurudeva, it depends on situation we face. If we cry in front of a low-esteemed person, he may lose confidence. If a parent cries in front of the children, the kids become weak. If it is in public, we may become victims of negative energy, maybe. So one word is not enough to say what to call. Love you, Gurudeva. Yeah. When you cry before a low-esteemed person, he loses confidence. You are hearing something very emotional from somebody who is close to you. It will really provoke you to cry because the matter is so sensitive. But if you cry, he may lose confidence. He may generally lose confidence. The second point is the parents crying before the kid. It makes the kids weak. Not only the kids weak, even the parents will become weak. I will tell you something which happened very recently during my visit to down south. Somebody called me from the West. He is abroad. He is a psychiatrist. He said, I just want to meet you. I said, I am not at Hyderabad. I am somewhere down south. He said, I will come and see you wherever you are. I said, okay, you want to come, you can come, but I cannot spend more than half an hour with you because I have a lot of work here. He came. Once he saw me, he started crying. I allowed him to cry. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, he was crying. Then after that he stopped. Then I was looking at him. He said, I have something to share with you. Very unpleasant. But still, you know very well I had divorced my wife 10 years back. He had married a foreigner. And they had one daughter. Only one daughter. Who was considered very brilliant. She was a school topper. All that. Very intellectual girl. She has become a drug addict. Then I said, for how long? He said, almost for the past 3-4 years. Oh. Somehow I thought I can keep my emotions to myself. 15 days back, I saw her on the streets. Very pathetic it looked. She spoke to me for 5 minutes. I asked her to come back with me home. She said no. Even her mother went and saw her a couple of times. She refused to meet her. At least in my case, she was prepared to talk for 5 minutes. The emotional connect is very important with your children. When that emotional connect is missing in a family, the child drifts. Sometimes the kid may not know what is emotional connect. You may have to develop that emotional connect right from the younger days. Emotional connect doesn't mean that you keep on interfering with everything and anything. Please remember. We have to allow the kid to grow. But the emotional connect and the emotional bondage with the kid will make the kid to express whatever happens around and whatever happens inside the kid. It will boldly discuss with you. If the children have to discuss boldly with you, you must have an emotional connect with your children. Okay. You may have intellectual connect. You may encourage the kid to get through in the exams or to do some very big degrees. That is not enough. That is intellectual connect. Probably your talk will be only centered around the studies and nothing else. I am not saying that. The emotional connect is something else, where your emotions are totally with the kid. The kid feels. There is no point in saying that I am emotionally connected with my child. The child should feel that you are emotionally connected with it. Your child has to feel that. Some children are, with a little bit of emotional connect, they will be very happy. Some children need a lot of emotional connect. They will expect more and more and more to achieve the target. So, generally talking with the kid then openly talks about its problems, both in the school or college or with friends or peers, what is going on in its society. Because most of the time the children leave early in the morning, maybe 6 or 7 o'clock they will leave. By the time they come, it will be 4 or 5 o'clock. After that, they may go for some tuition or they may go for some playing some games or something. By the time they come, it will be 8 o'clock. They will eat food and they will go into the room to study or whatever it is. So actually, how much time do you really spend with your child? We don't get. So, more the outside influence is going to have an impact on the child. With what sort of friends he is moving, with what sort of society he is moving, all this is going to create a very great impact on him or her. And the child is going to be molded the way the impact is going to take place. Your own child, your own blood, when it is coming up in life, you don't have an emotional connect, and the outsiders are having a better say on your child. This becomes a problem. So somehow you have to manage some time with your children. Sit with them, talk to them, right from the younger days. Suddenly doing it, what kind of an impact it will have, we do not know. And suddenly when you do, after he is grown up, he may start feeling otherwise. Why suddenly today, after all these years? At least you start. If you have not started, okay. Better late than never. So, the emotional connect is very, very important with your child. So, when the child expresses something where his inability to perform certain things, then it may be affecting your emotion also, but you must be very balanced not to let out your emotion before the child. One is the child loses confidence, otherwise he would not have discussed things with you. The question of the child discussing with you itself shows that there is some sort of emotional connect between the child and you. Maybe something very emotional in his life, which he is trying to deliver. And when you are listening to it, you must be very balanced and not let out your emotions. Thereby, the child gains confidence. When you tell the child, see, there are much better things which we have seen in life, much worse things we have seen in life. So you should not worry about all this. You can always cross it. It's not difficult. You just tell me what is it I am supposed to do to enable you to cross that. What is it you expect of me? How do you want me to act? Should I act materially or should I act more holistically with you? What is it you expect out of it? How I can help you out? What is it I am supposed to do? And what is it I am expected of? And please remember, your problem is not a very big problem. I have come across much better problems. Your problem can be solved in a very little bit of time with very minimum effort. Encouraging the child to a good extent, even though the problem may be very huge. But the way you talk to the child, the way you emotionally connect with the child should be in such a way that he should trust your words. 100%, 200%. He has to trust your word. He has to repose confidence in what you are saying. And he must be able to translate what all you say into reality in his life. To that extent, the emotional connect should work with your child. Okay. Otherwise, if you start crying, it will be a mess. First is, he may start feeling that I should not have revealed this to my parents because they are not in a position to understand what I am saying. Instead, already I am emotionally affected and they are also adding fuel to the fire. You can't expect much improvement in such cases. Whether you will be able to encourage him and bring him out of that limited coordinates within which his mind is fixed. Sometimes the mind gets fixed within very limited coordinates. And the emotional connect should be to that extent that it helps the person to live this life. To live this life. Living means not merely earning money, being in a very comfortable position, getting educated very well. This is not living. The basic living means live with a lot of joy and happiness. Joy, happiness comes out when one lives a very holistic life, very wholesome life. So not just one particular area or branch of life is important. Wherever the emotions are going to help a person to lead a very stable life, such kind of emotion should be encouraged and should be given more importance so that the kid grows in a wholesome way. Not just merely studies, not merely being in a very good job, earning a lot of money. All these things are of no use. Okay. Unless one is joyously able to live his life. For that, the parent should have that emotional connect And that emotional connect to be to that extent that they can talk anything and everything. The child doesn't feel something otherwise, where he has some inhibitions to open up and talk. To open up and talk, one needs openness of mind. One has to really accept, and that openness of mind has to be there to boldly convey whatever has to be conveyed in clear, lucid terms, so that the parents will be able to know the need of the kid, the want of the kid, and do things accordingly so that the kid is happy. Merely studying in IIT, doing PhD, this, that is not going to give happiness. That is only one portion of life where economically you will be well off, intellectually you will be very well off, you will be greeted, congratulated by everybody. Okay. But that emotional connect must be there. Okay. Even when scientists used to do certain experiments, with the experiment, they will not just have an intellectual connect, they will have an emotional connect. Thomas Alva Edison, almost for 30 years he was struggling to make the filament glow. He is going on telling people that there is something called electricity, electricity, electricity. Nobody is prepared to believe him. After 30 years of research, sometime at the night, it seems, his tungsten filament started glowing and there was light. He called his wife. At that time, see, I was telling you that there is something called electricity. You were not believing me. You see now, the light is glowing. She asked, what is the time now? He said, it is 1:30. Switch off your stupid light. We'll see it in the morning. Lie down. That was an emotional moment for Thomas Alva Edison when he found out electricity. He was so much emotionally happy. Whatever intellectually he could perform gave him an emotional satisfaction. But the person who is supposed to appreciate him at that point of time, he is not prepared to appreciate. Okay. Of course, next day she might have seen, she might have appreciated and all. That's a different thing. But that point of time when that joy, when you get some joy, with whom you will, naturally it will be your partner. Your partner is very important. Even though it is intellectually an invention, but the joy what came out of that is more an emotional connect. Otherwise he would have been very bland. He would have been very bland. But the joy what he got when he found out something, and he is sharing it with his emotional partner, not economic partner. Today, in most of the families, wife has become an economic partner, not an emotional partner. As a result of which joy is less, or there is no joy. She is not only an economic partner, she must also be an emotional partner. You must not only be an economic partner, you must be an emotional partner also. So, the emotions are very important. That emotional connect must be there. The entire world appreciated him. But at that particular point of time, when he found it, the person who is full of emotions, his better half, did not appreciate it. So, the joy comes on account of that emotional connect. So one has to develop that emotional connect. A husband should develop that emotional connect with his wife. The wife should develop that emotional connect with the husband. They both are one and the same. In that emotional connect only comes in the concept of living. Actual living comes in emotional connect. When that emotional connect is absent between a husband and wife, there is no living at all. So the parents have to also develop this emotional connect right from the younger days, so that at the right point of time, when they have to upgrade themselves as a householder or as the head of the house, or as nowadays you say equality, okay, fine, as a husband, as a wife, suddenly it doesn't come. So parents should have encouraged it at the earlier stages in life, so that the transition, once they get married, or the transition which happens in a relationship, happens very smoothly from parents to wife or husband. So this emotional connect is very, very important. Naturally, the parents cannot, even though it is very emotional, they have to put up a face. They have to hide their feelings. We cannot expect them to be very frank in their feelings, very ingenuous in their thoughts. They cannot be. It's not possible. Okay. It is not possible to be very open at that point of time. So they conceal their feelings in the interest of their child. This point really I like what Ananda has said. Now, of course, with the public, when you go and expose yourself, with the public you start crying, then probably it may have a negative impact in your life, where people start thinking very low about you, the image. So, not always it is possible to be very frank. It depends on situation. It depends on people to people. It depends on circumstances warranting some special measures. So, sometimes it does happen where we cannot be very frank, probably in the interest of people whom we are handling or dealing with. Thank you very much. God bless you all. See you some other time.